Hi, how are you? Hope you've been very well. I finally cut my hair and dyed it. The whole process took 7 hours. And I'm so excited. Now, I've had short hair before, so it actually won't be that hard to relearn how to style it, but I've never had short, dark hair. Not this short, not this dark. So from what I understand, the more I wash it out, the darkness will wash out into my natural color, which we had to color correct to get to. So till then, I get to embrace the darkness. So that's what we're gonna do today. When I learn how to properly style and texture my hair and make it look really, really cool, I'll do videos on that. So just let me learn that, let me get the feel of that. But I know how to do makeup already, so this hair, this look, cutting my hair very short and going back to my natural, or what is now a little bit darker than my natural, has allowed me to embrace the darkness. It has allowed me to blow out the fire and come back into the dark. Come back and sit with the shadows. So today, we're gonna do a dark, shadowy, more on the lines of dark feminine glam look. I did a look similar to this recently where it was like a gunmetal glam. This is going to be sort of like that, but not at all. In the sense that we're going to make this more feminine. We're going to make it more bronzy glam as opposed to just grays and blacks. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited. I've had this hair for 2 days and I can't get enough of it. I took photos of it. I already posted a photo to Instagram, like on my stories, and oh my god, I actually didn't expect people to be as excited about it as I was, but here we are. So as far as black shirts go, I wanted to do more of a dark feminine outfit, but I don't have that many black shirts anymore, so we gotta change that. And instead I'm wearing a satin shirt, which looks like I'm just wearing a tank top. We'll deal with it later. That's alright, it just means that I get to go shopping soon. So let's begin. I still get to tie my hair back because the front is longer than the back, which might look a little bit flat, but it's only because I, slapped on it. Anyway, I don't even know what palettes to go in with today. To be honest, I might even go in with the smoky palette again, just use different colors from it. I did buy a new foundation. It's the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. If you don't know, it's the one I've been wearing this whole time, mostly. I bought it in shade 2-in-1 Desert Beige. I know I said in a previous video or like a recent video that 3-in-1 suited me better, but upon greater thought and contemplation, we have autumn winter now. So sooner rather than later, I'm gonna lose whatever tan I mustered up this last year or so, and it's gonna have to be 2-in-1. I don't have the pump because does anyone use the Estee Lauder foundation? You know that pump that they say we can wash and reuse? How do you wash it? Because I tried washing it with just warm water because, soap, vinegar, baking soda, that's going to damage and contaminate the tool, the product, isn't it? So how do we wash it? Because I could not. And so I'm going to end up buying a new one. If you do use this foundation and know how to wash the pump, please tell me. But yeah, so at the moment I don't have a pump because I couldn't wash them. I'm gonna go buy one probably tomorrow. But yeah, 2-in-1. This foundation is good, so I can't complain about that. I'm curious, has anyone here ever made drastic changes and had a lot of people have a lot of opinions about them? Because with me, I do a lot of drastic changes. I change my hair, I used to change my hair every year. So for me, a drastic change is just something fresh. It's not a drastic change, right? Because at the end of the day, I know what my face looks like. I know what I want to get changed and, everything's great. But some people have some stuff to say. So I'm kind of curious, what's the biggest change that you've made that you had so many people have so many opinions about, and then you make the change anyway and they're like, oh, hey, that's nice, like you didn't know what you were doing. Write that below because that's going to be an interesting conversation. For concealer, I'm going in with the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in Chantilly. This one. I do want to talk about femininity. I mentioned in my outfit video that I threw out all my band shirts. I've actually mentioned it in a few videos. I used to be a metalhead, and I used to wear just primarily band shirts, jeans, leather jackets, and all that stuff. And I threw out some, donated some others. And when I went to Greece, if you watched my outfit video, I was exploring femininity. And I felt comfortable to do so because I was in my motherland and, you know, the outfits were there. So I was exploring femininity, my own femininity. Like, I understand everyone has their own persona of femininity. If you identify as, you know, feminine, even if you're male and have feminine qualities, your feminine qualities are your own. You know, no one's going to tell you how you feel, how you think, and all that stuff, but you. But for me, I find it exciting to express this femininity that I'm discovering now through makeup and through hair and through fashion. Because that's always been something that I've been excited about, you know? It hasn't so much been through music, it hasn't so much been through dance, because through dance, like, I feel feminine anyway. There was nothing I had to explore there, but with fashion, huge things to explore, huge things. And with hair as well. But at the moment, the way I see it is that my outfit video expressed a very light feminine side of me, and now that I've cut and dyed my hair, I get to explore the dark feminine. And it's very exciting because I feel like I resonate more with dark feminine energy. And it's a whole thing that I'm learning about now. Like, I just thought that it was a preference. I prefer night mode, and I prefer darkness, and I prefer darker clothes, darker looks, whatever. Apparently it's a whole thing. And everybody knew about it except me. But I get to explore it now with you, so it's going to be fun. To set everything, I use the MERCIER translucent loose setting powder in Ultra Blur. For a look like this, I think I mentioned it in my gunmetal smoky eye video. If you're worried about things like fallout, you might want to do the eyes first. I couldn't really care less about fallout. Fallout doesn't really happen if you do it right, or if you have good enough products. Also, I feel like my makeup is backwards when I do my eyes first, so I always do foundation and complexion and stuff first. But, you know, you do you. For bronzer, I'm using the Benefit Hoola bronzer. I can't remember where I left off with what I was saying, but I'm excited to explore this part of my whatever journey, discovering not who I am, like I know who I am, but stylistically, aesthetically. And I think my Instagram, I never actually do this, but if you want, you can follow me on Instagram. I have my @ written below on every video. I'm starting to change up the content that I post there as well. I'm starting to consider my art, my creative mind as part of the content that I want to put out. So photography of light, shadow, color, shapes, different objects, makeup, coffee. Basically, in my self-discovery, I'm creating like a mood board. And that's on my Instagram. So if you like the dark aesthetic or curious about the dark feminine, that's what I'm going to be exploring. And that's how I'm going to be figuring out a lot of stuff. So as far as femininity goes, I was saying something about it before. Like, everyone has their own, you know, taste on it, their own twist, their own take. For me, I've always resonated with the dark feminine, and I didn't know that was a thing until I started reading characteristics, like typical characteristics and traits and qualities of both the light and dark feminine. I mean, obviously everyone has bits from both, but I resonated more with the dark. And I thought, wow, that makes sense. It makes sense because I was a metalhead wearing metalhead shirts. That was the aesthetic for a while. I kind of embodied that anyway without even knowing what it was. And now that I've evolved into a different sort of femininity with dresses and heels and all of that stuff, which I always kind of liked, but from a distance, it feels like it fits, like it makes sense. So while I think everyone embodies traits from both dark and light feminine energies, you kind of resonate more with one, and mine is dark feminine, which it shouldn't have been that long for me to figure out that that's what was happening. It was definitely not hard to, you know, come to terms with, though. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I do hope that you stick with me on this journey, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's like, my favorite part of all like rom-com movies or whatever is the makeover, or you know, it's that part, the transformational part. Devil Wears Prada, when she goes through the Chanel boots thing and she becomes this icon that we know, you know, I love all of that stuff. She, like, the confidence that comes with coming into your own character. I'm so excited to explore it, like more than I can explain. So I hope you stick with me through it because it's gonna be a blast. Where is my blush? Ha. For blush, I'm using the NARS Dolce Vita. And this blush brush, which isn't pink normally, so I gotta wash my brushes. You know, pack that on the cheekbones, because we're getting older and our face kind of drags, you know. For eyebrows, I lost the product. I finally got the Benefit Gimme Brow again, which is... I got the small one because like I live pretty much in that store. I can pick up another one whenever. I got it in shade 3, whatever it's called, because it was the closest to my eyebrow shade. I could go darker. I could actually go a shade darker because my hair is a shade darker, but that's alright. I like this product better than doing the 2-step, you know, filling it in with the marker or crayon and then going in with the gel setter. Like, I like this better. It's a lot less maintenance. And it fills it in anyway because it's colored. So I just, back to my old school eyebrow routine, which is just brush up my eyebrow hairs, which need to be, you know, plucked and fixed, but brush them up and brush through them and hopefully establish a shape. Gives the illusion of a full brown. It doesn't look too heavy. There's not really much chance that you're going to mess up because it follows the shape of your already shaped brows. If your brows are unshaped, it'll follow the already unshaped of your brows. Oh dear. Alright, I have beef. The Hourglass product that I was going to use. Look at this. This product, when you buy it, it's pressed. And I don't know what happens or why it happens. It just gets loose and spills everywhere. This was not a cheap product. I know this kind of thing happens with pressed powders, because like not pressed powders, pressed pigments or pressed glitters and shimmers and stuff, because the medium is different. It's not like a regular eyeshadow, and I get that. It's just a shame, you know, because it feels like such a waste of product. Alright, now that that's mostly clean, I'm going to take the Born This Way Natural Nudes palette and a fluffy brush and the color Nude, which is this one right here, because we're going to do a transition shade. This transition shade, we're going to put it in the inner corner, the outer, and whatever's left over, we're going to dust it over the top. We're not going to care how messy it gets because we're going to fix it up later. But I think I'm going to bring this up to the eyebrow. I'm going to try and get it as smoky as I can, knowing full well that it's going to have shimmers. So all the shimmers are going to catch the high points anyway. It's not going to close the eye as much as you might think it will right now. And we're doing this with a fluffy brush because we don't care with... It's the closest color to your skin tone. I'm using Nude, but this is a range for, you know, skin tones. And it's going to provide a base for when we apply the deeper brown, the black, and what have you. So get your initial shape down. Mine follows my eyebrow pretty low because my eyeliner I do pretty low. If you're someone that does your eyeliner facing, or pointing I should say, upward, that's where you should aim to do your eyeshadow, but I take mine pretty low. I'm also going to take it underneath the eye completely. Not caring, again, how low it gets, because we're living for the smoky look right now. Connecting that bottom to the, I guess, stopping point that you just stopped at. And the lower you bring it as well, the smokier it'll be. I just poked myself in the eye. I like to cover the whole under eye bag, if you can see. I used to do it a lot more. I kind of do it now, but not too much. I think it looks really cute. Okay. With a rounder fluffy brush, I'm going to take Cocoa here. I'm going to take this where I put Nude, but bring it up and blot it on. We want to distribute color and blend it, like, gently, but we don't want to add any more to the shape that we created underneath. Plus, with this product, the more we pack, the more it'll come through, the warmer it'll make the look. And do the same thing where it comes up to the top, but not as much as you did, like, not as much product as you applied with Nude. And because I have a semi-hooded eye, I do bring it up pretty high so you can still see it when I open my eyes. I should mention as well, with looks like this, don't be afraid of getting really into that inner corner. Usually that's the corner that we light up, but for halo looks, you want to distribute as much color as you can to get that halo effect. And a lot of the time with these looks, the darker you go, the better, because that's how you see the look. That's how you can tell what's going on. Although if you do it lightly, it's still very interesting because it's not a common look that people go for. With that same brush and that same color, we're going to go again underneath the entire under eye area. And I'm taking it again over the entire under eye bag. You don't have to. You can do that thing where we taper it closer to the eyelash and it gets thinner and thinner and thinner, like the distribution of color. I'm not going to do that because we are tapping into our dark feminine and she wants to be bold. And once again, connecting that bottom buff, that bottom fluffy shadow to the top. Then I'm going to take the same brush, which I normally don't do, but I'm going to do it today. Taking that same brush and the color Truffle. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to take it up to the top. What I'm going to do, let me just get a little closer so you can see. What I'm going to do, tap it in that corner, and that's where I'm going to concentrate it. And then flip the brush where there's less product, but product still falls. And keep tapping upward, just to blend out, to give the illusion of darker. Oh, it's not the illusion, it's not an illusion, we're doing it. To make it darker, but to also blend it out as seamlessly as we can without changing the overall color, if that makes sense. And then go into the inner corner, maybe with a little more product, tapping it in, getting rid of the excess, and then with the flipped over side, tapping it upward. You see what I did? That's exactly what I was trying to avoid. So if you're afraid of using the darker colors, make sure you wipe off that excess very well. We're gonna make it work. And then blending everything together. Notice I did leave a bit of space in that top. It doesn't really matter if you do or don't, but for this look, I'm trying not to. And with the same fluffy brush and the color Truffle, I am tapping out excess product here because I don't want to cause another stain like I just did. Again, on the entire under eye. And joining it to the end of that top part. Okay, now you should look nice and smoky. Alright. Next, because this palette doesn't have a black, I'm going to take my Gemini palette and use Bonnie. Please don't fall. Use Bonnie. Any black shadow will do. I have this one. And we're going to do two things here. I have a pencil brush here. It's a pretty dense one. It's not too thin. I'm going to tap into Bonnie, knock off any excess. Where is my mirror? I'm going to put this in the outer corner, but wipe it in the direction that the rest of my eyeshadow is going. And I'm going to taper it out with the pencil brush. And then when I have my initial shape down, I'm going to take the brush from before with Truffle still on it, and I'm going to blot into that inner corner and up. What this is going to do is it's going to mix in Truffle with Bonnie, or your brown, like your dark brown shadow with your black shadow. And if you're gentle with it, because if you're tough with it, it's going to leave stains. But if you're gentle with it, it should leave a pretty seamless blend. If it doesn't, you still have some excess Bonnie or black shadow onto the pencil brush. You can add that in and blend everything together. I'm also going to do the same on the inside. On the inside though, I'm going to tap it out a little more. I'm going to make sure to not get too dramatic with it. And with the inside, I'm going to use swipey motions to blend it into the middle, tapering it out so the middle still stays bare. Still making sure though to keep darkness in there. When you're blending the black shadow, it's ultimately up to you. You might have more eye real estate than I do. I don't taper it as high as the brown, like the dark brown shadow, Truffle. I keep it on the inside and then I just bring it up, and wherever it decides to reach, it reaches. But if you have more eye space and you want to take it around the whole way, that's, you know, totally your call. I think if I do that, I'll look like a panda. Now, with the bottom lash line. Not the lash line, sorry, the under eye. I'm going to take the pencil brush, tap it into Bonnie, or whatever black shadow you're using. I apply it in back and forward swipey motions, like small ones, to distribute as much product as I can without any fallout, because Well, aside from the fact that if you're using the Gemini palette, they barely have fallout. They're good shadows. But in order to prevent fallout, you don't want to just tap on because that's going to give you fallout. And you don't just want to swipe because it's going to stain it and it's going to be harder to blend out. So small back and forward swipey motions into where you want it, just to apply that bit of product. And then with your fluffy brush, I'm going to wipe off some of the excess so not extra product gets distributed. But with that, lightly buff it out. And I say lightly because we're just blending here. We're not trying to move too much product around, we're just trying to blend it out. Alright, for the glam part of it, the shimmer part of it, I'm going to take two different things. If I had this Hourglass shadow in two different shades, I'd use them both, but I only have it in Smoke. This is what the color is. It's a shame, it's such a nice color. It's the color Smoke, and I'm going to take it on my finger and apply it to the outer and upper portions of it. And look, it is going to make the eye, lighter, so you can choose whether or not you want to apply it everywhere on the brown shadows and the black shadow that we applied. I will be. And then it'll catch the light where it does. So when you look at me head on, it's still dark, but in the light, it does its light thing, which is the point, you know, it's the point of this look. It's the point of, you know, the scattered light range. But I'm only doing this on the brown portions. I guess it doesn't matter if you get into that bare section, but we're going to put something else there. Like I've slipped already, but it doesn't matter. The best versions of these kinds of looks are not in their precision. They're in their chaos. And I am putting a little extra on that brow bone because in the right light, it does serve as a highlight. So let me wipe that off. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to take the Naked palette, the color Ounce. I'm going to take a flat applicator brush, whatever's left of my Mario Badescu facial spray. Every time I go in to buy a new one of these, they never have the scent that I want. So I'm going to pack that product on my brush, and I was going to swipe it, but I'm going to blot it all over that top and out, but I want to keep the main shine of it in the middle. So apply to the middle first, and then blot it out with that brush. What you don't want to do is you don't want to blend anything in, and you don't want to swipe. You don't want to move the product around too much, and you don't want to accidentally transfer some of that darkness in with the light. So that from every angle, even if it shines, this is the center point. And just pack that product on. And the reason I'm pulling it outward as well is because I didn't just want the straight line. I wanted it to blend into the rest of the look. I just wanted the distinction between the middle light and then the rest, which is just less light. Yeah. It's completely up to you if you want to take the shimmer underneath. I'm not going to for this look, but again, your call, your creative freedom. The other look that I wanted to do had a pretty profound winged liner. But I think for this one, because the purpose of it is the halo eye, I don't like doing winged liners with halo eyes. I think it ruins them. As in, like, I think the liner ruins the effect of the halo. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my Aqua Resist color pencil by Makeup Forever inside all of the waterlines. And I'm going to go pretty ham on it. This is not a light application. To the point where if you can't stay in the lines and it gets out of your inner waterline, you can blend it out totally fine. In fact, I might actually do that a little bit. Taking it underneath with my, forgot the name of it. What the hell is this called? Pencil brush that I've already applied the black onto it, and just buff out that black and make it blacker. And I guess if you do it this way, you can create sort of a phantom wing. The only thing I don't like about this trick is that it looks like there's a division between the actual lashes and the under eye bag. Let me try using with an angled brush and the color Bonnie again, or just your black shadow. I'm gonna make sure that you cannot tell a difference between the eye bag and the lash line. And with a brush that I don't know where I've put here. No extra product. Actually, I'm going to wipe off the excess again off of the rounder blendy brush and just make sure that gets the smoothness that it deserves. For the top lid, I might do the same. I do want it to look dark. I don't want it to look like this. Just on the end here, and maybe a little in the beginning. The beginning and the end, how poetic. The inner and outer waterline. I'm gonna take my pencil brush again and just little by little blend this out. So I guess we are creating a sort of phantom wing, which isn't really the problem. It's the harsh wings that I kind of have an issue with. Because it draws attention away from all of the hard work that we do. Again, completely up to you if you want to put it over the top of the glowy part. I'm not going to do that because I'm going to have lashes. I don't want to hide it completely. I don't have too much eye space. I don't have real estate up here. But if you do, again, completely up to you, especially if you're going for that ultra dark look. I'm just going to concentrate this mainly in the outer corner, bring it up a little bit, blend it out and give that phantom wing. And the inner corner again, just bringing that up, blending everything together. And with that pencil brush and a little extra shadow, make sure that you set. Because what we're doing with the color pencil, damn, I forgot the word, that's cream. That's a cream product. So there's a good chance that that's going to transfer. Go back on top with a black shadow. Yeah, that's smoky. I think with my angled brush, with not adding any excess product, I'm just going to use whatever comes off to join the inner eye, because I didn't want it to look that separated, you know? Alright, and at this point, add more black shadow where you think you should. I keep mine concentrated in the nooks and crannies of the look. And now I'm going to apply lashes, and I'm going to do it off camera because, God, it's embarrassing how long it takes me. Better than Sex Mascara. Definitely apply it to your lower lashes, but also your falsies, you know, if you applied them. You don't have to apply them. This look is bold enough where you might feel like false lashes take from it, which is true sometimes in cases like lashes might take away from the amount of work you put into the look. I don't really mind. This lip balm is so good. I got it from, like, remember when I went to Greece last year? I got this on the flight. Now, if I had a lip gloss in the color combination that I'll be applying this lipstick, I'd use that. But I don't. So, or I'd put a clear lip gloss on top of it, but I don't have that either. Stone by MAC. And this time, I know I made a video a while ago about how to line your lips if you've got thin lips without making them look overdrawn. I think I might need to update that soon because I've learned a few things. But for now, let's get a little closer. For now, I'm lining the whole lip. And I can't talk when I do it because, whatever. I'm using my lips, you know why. Something I am starting to do, I do have a very defined Cupid's bow. What I've been doing is drawing over that absolute definition to give the appearance of a fuller top lip, which technically is overlining, but not to the point where it looks like cloud makeup, you know? And the bottom, I underline a little bit under the bottom lip so it looks like it curls. Yep, that sure gives the appearance of a rather full lip. And then I'm going to take whatever I have left of Blankety by MAC. I use this so much. I'm going to buy another one too. It'll be the third one of these that I buy. It's so good. Applying to the middle first. I wonder if I even had a lighter color, how that would work as well, but we're doing this for now. Keeping it nice and muted. Now, crucial step, the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I probably don't need as much as I put on, but honestly, this just smells so good. Okay, so when that's all dry, I'm going to go back in and just matte everything down, knowing very well that this powder dries everything down in matte anyway. Like, there's no shiny things after it's done, but I have trauma from having a greasy face. For a little bonus extra something, if you want to do that, I'm going to take the color Ounce from the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette like I used before in the middle. I'm going to take that color and a brush that I'm struggling to locate. Here it is. Pencil brush. I usually use this to do my nose highlight, which is exactly what I'm going to do with it, by the way. Nothing new here. Just highlight the nose. You don't really need to highlight the eyes. I'm going to highlight the Cupid's bow a little bit. You can highlight the eye just a little bit if it feels incomplete. And taking a little bit on my finger and applying it in like little circly motions to the highlights of my cheeks. Now, if you have a highlighter, use that. I don't, so I won't. Cool. Now for the fun part. I got my hair done 2 days ago. So because of all the, you know, the product and the gloss and everything that's in there, it feels a little bit flat. I think I said that in the beginning. If I didn't, I meant to. I don't have a texture spray and I left my hairbrush at my parents' place. I'm getting it back tomorrow. But dry shampoo adds a little bit of texture. Ultimately, this is it. This is the final look. I have entered a new phase in my life. I'm so excited to have this hair. I'm so excited to learn how to style short hair because I just learned how to style long hair and then I got kind of bored of it. So I'm loving everything about everything right now. This is my intro to the dark feminine glam tutorial. I feel like for me personally, I would wear this constantly if I could, because this eye makeup, aside from the shimmer is the glam part, you know, but this is pretty much the colors, pretty much the makeup that I would wear if I wasn't just doing a winged liner. I love smoky eyes, you know this. Halo eyes are always dynamic, and I feel like I'm finally able to pull off something like this because it doesn't clash with my long red balayage hair. I'm so excited to explore this new phase of my life and to see what happens. I'm excited to play with new things. I haven't had a chance to explore the dark feminine. So I hope you stick around, and I hope that maybe we can get through this journey together if you're exploring your femininity as well. I want to know what the biggest change you've ever made in your appearance is. And did you love it? Did you hate it? Did it like awaken something in you? Did you regret it completely? I want to know, because this kind of stuff, I live for this stuff. I love this. I love transformations. I love 180. When you change your style 180, I love it. I love the makeovers in movies. It's one of my favorite things. So thank you for watching today. I hope I was able to teach you something when it came to makeup. And if you're thinking about cutting your hair, maybe I was able to inspire you. If you do like more aesthetic photos and stuff, I am exploring all of that on my Instagram page, which again, I've linked in my description. I hope to see you there. With that all said and done, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you stick around for the next one, and I wish you a fabulous weekend. Bye. Mwah.